This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we help you live your best life by being healthy relationally, successful professionally, and peaceful financially. 888-825-5225 is the number to jump in. It is your show, America. It's all about you. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Camel, and we are here for you this hour. It is a free call, 888-825-5225. We want to help you win. We'll talk about your money. Obviously, George is here ready to go. Coming up, how to combat inflation and protect your four walls. We'll get into that. That's going to be in this hour. Of course, I'm here today to help you with your work questions, because the best way to grow your wealth is your income. And so if you want to get a bigger shovel, get out of debt faster, I'm here to help. If you want to get out of a toxic work environment, dealing with a tough leader, we'll change your name, location, because we know those calls are sensitive. So we are here. You ready to go, George?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right. Rodney's up first in San Diego, California. Rodney, how can we help?
Yes. Thank you for taking my call. So I am considering paying off my house in the next year or so, maybe tomorrow, who knows. But my wife and I have saved up a pretty good nest egg. I'm retired now, pretty at a young age, and my only debt is my house. So I've heard lots of things about, keeping money on hand. So we have enough money on hand to pay for our house and have money left over. So what is your take of paying a house free and clear at such a young age?
How old are you?
I'm 47.
Oh!
And retired.
By the way, I would like to point out
I am retired.
That Rodney is in fact young, because I'm 47, and I would like to clear that up. Kelly would like as well. Kelly and I are both from the same year. So, Kelly, it's nice to hear somebody call themselves young at our age. All right, very nice.
Thank you.
So, Rodney, how much money are we talking here? What's left on the mortgage, and how much do you have total in cash?
My mortgage, or what's left on my mortgage, is $271K. My wife and I have $370K in liquid savings and checking, and then we also have $341K in retirement accounts.
Wow.
Right, hold on. Can I slow clap for Rodney?
Yeah, I'll
his wife?
fast clap.
I feel like
that's amazing.
Fantastic. So, George, what is he waiting on?
That's what I'm
isn't
wondering.
He paying it off?
So why were you socking away all this money? I mean, that's an impressive amount to just be hanging on to in cash.
So I was socking onto it for a while just in case we had an emergency. We have zero debt. My wife and I
We've
have,
all been there, Ken. The old $370,000 emergency.
It's a big one, George.
I had a significant emotional event in 2010, and then came back from that, and then now you socked it away, and it was very difficult. So now I'm retired from the military. So people say, hey, keep 6 months of expenses in your bank account just in case you get fired. But, there's no way I can get fired from being retired.
Well, but hold on a second. So what's 6 months? 6 months of your expenses is what? What's that number?
My 6 months of expenses is 6 times 4, 24 grand.
And that would go down once you pay off the mortgage, right?
Yeah, so if our 370 would be minus 270 if I paid down my mortgage, or if I paid off my mortgage.
I'm paying it off today, man. Completely debt-free. Yeah. And what's your mortgage payment?
My mortgage payment is $1,801.
$1,801 times 12.
And
you just gave yourself a raise.
I know. I did. After property taxes and insurance, I am adding $1,500 to my spending cash every month, because right now I have a military pension and my disability coming in. So,
by the way, Rodney, you still have 6 months and more expenses.
Yeah, 6 months and more. Yeah, exactly.
So you can invest that. You can start to get into real estate and purchase real estate with cash. I mean, the world is your oyster at baby step 7, where you can live and give like no one else. And that's what I want for you.
So, right now we're investing, and we've been investing since 2004, up and down, and it's not doing so well right now. So I was just thinking, okay, well, I might as well just have liquid cash coming in every month. Essentially, I would be I save about $2,000 a month, and if I paid off my house, now I add $1,500 on $1,500 on top of that per month.
Have we asked what the house is worth yet?
What is the house worth, Rodney?
Oh, good question.
My house is worth right now around the corner. Someone bought the same model house for $815.
Oh, let's go.
So,
Rodney.
Rodney, I mean, dude,
this is an easy
unbelievable.
answer.
Good for you. House is worth $8+, George.
I'm doing it. And Rodney, can I just say thank you so much for your service and your sacrifice.
I appreciate
You're
the support.
incredible.
It took a long time to get here.
That's incredible. Really.
And right now my only bane of my existence is fighting with the other drivers, dropping off my kid at school and picking him up. And not to mention my son's college is already paid for because I passed on benefits to him.
Oh,
Rodney,
my goodness.
Rodney, you do need to do something. What are you doing?
I do need to do something. Yes, I know.
What are you going to do for the next 40, 50 years?
Right now, I volunteer once a month, and then I take out for friends for coffee once a week to try to encourage them to they do better in life. That's what I try to do. That's what I do in my retirement age when I'm not working out or cleaning my house.
This is the final step of Ken's clear path, is to give yourself away.
Yeah. I actually, you know what, Rodney? I'm going to give you a copy of my latest book. It's a bestseller called From Paycheck to Purpose. And I think it's going to help you find work, whether you do it volunteer or whether you do it part-time or you have a second career. I think it's going to help you at this next stage because you're a young man and you can truly give yourself away through work, which is the 7th stage of the 7 stages that I write about in the book. It's give yourself away. You're working for legacy.
I'm glad you guys mentioned that up because my wife right now works and she enjoys her job. For me, going to work right now is not for a monetary compensation. It's more purposely for fulfillment and trying to give back to the people I feel who can give back to the community. So that's what I'm trying to find. I've been retired for about 17 months right now, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll find something.
You will. So hang on the line. I'm going to give you a copy of the book, From Paycheck to Purpose. And what's great about this, George, in Rodney's case, is that he can take all the time he wants to figure out what that next chapter looks like because of financial peace.
He's got options now.
Yeah.
And one thing I want you to do, Rodney, go to RamseySolutions.com/checkup. I want you to take our coverage checkup because you've worked so hard offensively to get to where you are. Now I want you to focus on defense and make sure you have enough insurance in place, that all of the areas are covered so that nothing can take away from what you have built up so diligently.
Yeah, just an unbelievable story. And George, this is a great way to start the show. Here we have a military family who they're everyday, millionaires, baby steps millionaires, the whole 9 yards. They're doing it the right way. They did it. You could hear in his voice, it's been a long journey.
Yeah.
But they did it, George. It's doable.
Most people want the shortcuts. And Rodney, even retiring at 47, he put in a lot of work, a lot of years, a lot of blood, sweat, tears to get to where he is today. And it started a long time ago. And so I want to encourage you, you can make that decision today to start. And it may look different for you. You may not be a millionaire tomorrow. But man, 20 years from now, you're going to be thanking your 20-year-old self when you're 40 going, man, I'm glad I did the hard work. I'm glad I was diligent. I'm glad I was patient. I'm glad I was consistent. That's what this plan's all about.
Yeah, just unbelievable story. And boy, you got to love it when somebody calls up and goes, should I pay the house off?
And you get to say, yes, today.
Yeah,
no more mortgage.
Yeah, unbelievable. Great. That needs to be a party, Rodney. Paying off the house party tonight somewhere in San Diego, California. And as George said, thank you for your service to our country. You are a great American. All right, don't move. Coming up next, more of your calls. This is The Ramsey Show.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ramsey Show. Thrilled to have you with us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, George Kimmel, and we are here for you this hour as we talk about your life. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Marissa joins us now in Bend, Oregon. Marissa, how can we help?
Hi there. My question is, what type of 529 plan is best? The state-sponsored one or one through like an Edward Jones or somewhere like that?
That's a great question. So how old are the kids?
9 and 12, so starting a little late.
Okay. Hey, that's all right. The fact that you're even having this conversation is amazing. Most parents don't, and then they just hope and wish, and then the kid ends up with $100,000 in student loans. So I applaud you for even looking into this kind of thing. So when it comes to 529s, there are a lot of options out there. Each state has their own. And what's really cool is that you can be a part of Utah's 529 plan, no matter where you live. And so what I would be doing is reaching out to a SmartVestor Pro in your area. You can jump on RamseySolutions.com, and they can actually walk you through all of the options out there across the country and help you choose the right state for you. I would go that route before jumping into one with an Edward Jones. Nothing wrong with those kinds of companies, but I want to make sure that you're kind of looking without going with a captive company to start. And so our SmartVestor Pros, they can actually point out the best state-sponsored plan that's right for you. Have you looked into an ESA as well?
No, I haven't.
Okay. That one does have an income limit, and there are contribution limits. So depending on your financial situation on that end, that could be an option for you.
Okay, and the kids are doing 4-H animals, so they're going to have money to contribute as well. So we want them to start investing that, as quickly as possible too. Yeah,
that's great. And you guys are in Bend, Oregon there. So are they planning on going to an in-state school?
They're kind of unsure. Actually, their dad went to school in Texas, so that's, of course, where they're leaning to.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's true. Is this sports related as well? Like, are the big Texas sports house or not at all?
Not necessarily. My husband's an ag, and and that's what they're into. I went to an Oregon school, but it's not as cool as the Texas schools.
I see.
So.
That's great.
Well, I just don't want you making a decision based on where Dad went, and then the kid ends up paying twice as much to go to school to make Dad happy.
Unfortunately, Oregon schools are expensive regardless of in-state or out-of-state.
Everything's expensive in Oregon, I'm told.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Oregon is expensive. So, no, definitely going to take advantage of community college and, that kind of stuff as well.
Good.
So.
Well, they're young. They don't, a 9-year-old doesn't have to have their life figured out yet. So that's the good news.
Very early. Let's not, and just a caution to parents, let's let kids discover more. You suggest less.
Ooh, discover more, suggest less.
Mm-hmm. Pay attention. Parents observe more. But if parents shut up a little bit and stop suggesting everything based on what makes you feel good or what you did, and you actually observed your kids, and I'm not saying that Marissa's doing this.
No.
I'm saying I'm kind of challenging parents, just real quick, throw a little nugget out there. Start observing your kids a lot more and pay attention to clues, even at 9, 10, and 11. And that's going to inform a lot of things when they're 16, 17, and 18 as well. All right, the phone number is 888-825-5225. Vandana joins us in Washington, D.C. Vandana, how can we help?
Hi, yes. On Friday, we closed on a house. And because of this market, we were very fast to just buy it because we had to. And I just regret it. Even when we had the 3 days HOA clause, I wanted out, but my husband really wanted to just go ahead and get it. And so I just kind of did it so we wouldn't fight. And ever since then, I've regretted it. And we closed on Friday and have cried every single day since then. I feel like we made a mistake.
I'm
so sorry.
Tell me, tell George and I the specific things you're regretting right now.
Well, I mean, we had to move so my daughter could go to school because we live across the street. It's like the stupidest district. And we wanted to do it so she could be in the better school. She could be with her friends and everything. And she has some special needs, and this school has, for the school that for her to be able to go to for middle school has more of the programming that she needs. So we did it for that.
No, I understand. But listen, that's a good thing. What are you specifically regretting?
I just feel like it's a little bit, I don't know. I just feel like we made a big mistake. We're going to have to spend so much money fixing this house. And it's going to be more of a mortgage. And, I found out my husband took out a HELOC to pay for it. And I found out all these things financially as we were doing it. And I wonder if I just did it so I found out my husband had a $50,000 personal loan that I didn't know about. I thought we had paid off all our debt besides our student loans.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Vandana. It sounds like there's some financial infidelity on top of the weight of an impulsive home purchase here.
Yeah, and so he did the HELOC, which I learned about as he was doing it. And now that I've learned more about HELOCs and listening to you, I'm a little bit scared because that's what we used to pay for this house. And, we paid off the personal loan from the HELOC too, so we could close on this house. And now we can definitely, it's not that we can't afford this house now because all the debt is gone. But I don't know. It just feels like this is the house.
Sounds like we robbed Peter to pay Paul here. We just kind of move the debt around.
Exactly.
Vandana, George is going to walk you through this, but here's what I want, okay? You need to just focus right now on less emotion and start plugging in some numbers for George, all right?
Okay.
So I'm going to get us started, okay? What's your household income, and then what is the mortgage costing you? Give us those two numbers.
So our household income is $250,000 before
taxes.
Before taxes.
Fantastic.
So he brings
What's the
home
mortgage?
like $12,700 to $900 a month.
What's the mortgage, including the HELOC? So all that together, what is that?
I don't know, including the HELOC.
How about just the mortgage?
Okay, just the mortgage.
Just the mortgage is about, including like HOA and taxes, it's about $4,500.
Okay. So if I'm doing the math here, you're looking at 34% of your take-home pay.
Yes.
Is going into. So now that's higher than what I'd like it to be, but it's not killing you. Like you said, you guys can afford it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the emotion is coming from the fact that you're learning a lot of things you didn't know because your husband lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
And yes, you did impulsively get into this house, but that's not the bigger issue here. The bigger issue is that you and your spouse need to get on the same page and go, we're married, there are no lies in this relationship. And so I think that's going to be your A1, is not fixing the house problem, it's fixing the relationship problem. And that might look like counseling, that might look like going through Financial Peace University together on top of that. But we got to get to the root of why he hid these things from you.
I think he was just ashamed because before he had credit card debt and I sold my condo and I gave him every single dollar out of my condo. I was a teacher. I quit working during the pandemic so I could homeschool my child, and I haven't wanted to go back because for the few months I did teach, I was so stressed out, and I went back for a little bit this year, and my anxiety went up. I wasn't sleeping, nothing, and it's like I had to put on anxiety medicine because teaching these days is just so difficult, and I just couldn't deal with everything. And then, I thought we were out of debt. I thought we were completely out of debt because when I found out about the credit cards, I had a condo that I had.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Vandana.
We are so very sorry. But as George said, I want you to walk away from this to say, hey, you and your hubs just need to get on the same page. If you had some shame, take the shame away and just say, hey, can we get on the same page? I'm feeling a tremendous amount of anxiety and fear over this. You guys know how to pay debt off. Start attacking it just like you were starting all over again. You guys can get there. House isn't going to fall in on itself. It's going to be okay, but you guys have got to get on the same page relationally so that you can get on the same page financially. Coming up, George is going to take on inflation in your four walls. This is The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
All right, folks, the Ramsey Show continues from our Nashville-based World HQ. Thrilled to have you with us. I'm Ken Coleman. And George Camel, my colleague, is with me today. And George, every day in the news, inflation. It's like that, those old car commercials, price down. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what
there.
Yeah, it's like inflation is everywhere, and it is at all-time highs. And yet, George, what's interesting about this is that we're also in a season of life in America where incomes are up, but because inflation is so high, in some cases it's a net, meaning you're not getting ahead. You got some current news and data on this.
Yes, so we're
going
to do a series helping you guys out with what we call your four walls. So this is food, utilities, housing, and transportation.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones that people are worried about right now. So we're going to start with food today, give you guys some quick tips. Now, these aren't, life-changing hacks that are going to save you hundreds of dollars, but it can help to avoid you feeling that pinch every time you go to the grocery store.
All right.
So let's jump in here. We did a state of personal finance study, and we found that groceries have jumped about 8%, which tracks with inflation here.
Wow.
And the average cost of monthly groceries for one person went from $223 to $410. And for a family of four, it shoots up to $863. Now, a lot of you are going, oh my gosh, that's it? Or, oh my gosh, that much?
You know what that
data
data doesn't cover? The Coleman household, where I have two teenage boys. That's like 3 extra people.
That's true.
The amount of groceries I got to spend.
Those boys can eat. I've seen them.
1 pack of bacon, gone.
Ooh.
Gone in one morning.
Well, that
Gone.
brings me to my first tip here, Ken. We got to shop at the cheapest grocery stores.
There it is.
A lot of people, they have their grocery store, and you can't get Ken Coleman away from Publix. Everyone's got their grocery store.
I'm a Kroger guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't take you for a Kroger guy.
Really?
Shopping's a pleasure at Publix. I know you're a man of leisure and pleasure.
That's a tagline. I'm all about convenience, and there's one in the neighborhood.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, Aldi is one of the best grocery stores. This is not sponsored, but they just happen to have great prices.
My parents shop exclusively at Aldi. They carry on about how they save money. They're retired.
They get it. It's simple. It's no frills. You got to pay for a bag. You got to put a quarter in the cart. I mean, they're making sure that they're able to give you those low prices in different ways. So Aldi, I love Trader Joe's for their prices. Walmart can be great. Costco can be great if you do it right. Now, Costco can be a danger zone when you get 4 things and it costs you $9,000 because you tried the rice pilaf sample and just had to have a 4-pound bag.
Well, who doesn't need a 6-pack of Polish kielbasa?
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? You can't just buy 1 pack.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
So choosing a cheaper grocery store for right now, you don't have to go to Whole Foods. We can go to Aldi and get the same thing. Just might not be the name brand. Go generic. Go with the store brand. You'll be okay.
I'm a big generic brand guy.
Number 2, I want you to look for foods that give you more bang for your buck. So we talk a lot about beans and rice here. Never has it been more true. Beans and rice, rice and beans. It's one of the cheapest staple foods, and it's filling.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Bow tie pasta. I'm
Ooh.
giving real-life Coleman House hacks as you go along. Bow tie pasta, you can buy 6 boxes for $1.46. It's
That's
unbelievable.
Right. Get those carbs. Rice, pastas, those are cheap. Get some sauce.
Yeah, pasta's cheap.
And buying your meat in bulk, as meat is getting expensive here.
Yeah.
So there's one right there. Number 3, actually, cut out the wants and only buy the items you need. This means no frivolous chocolate chip cookies are getting thrown in the cart, Ken.
Oh, it's tough.
What is the actual food that is going to sustain our family?
I really like ice cream, and I can make a case that it sustains my mental health.
Well, we're going store brand, and we're going to get the full gallon to save on cost per ounce.
Well, I'm all about the gallon of ice cream.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's your hack, Ken. So make sure that you're talking with your spouse, if you've got one, about the grocery budget and looking for ways that we can cut things out and making sure nothing frivolous gets added to that list. Now, lastly, Ken, this is one that you probably don't do, but cashback apps.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
I'm a fan. So there's apps like, they're called Ibotta, Fetch Rewards. There's one called Checkout 51, Receipt Hog, and what you do.
Receipt Hog.
Yes.
If I was going to be into one, that would be the one that I would
just
be into.
based on the name.
Just so I could tell my friends on the phone, yeah, I got this new app, Receipt Hog. That's fun to say.
I don't know who your friends are, but I hope they enjoy that.
Oh, you actually do.
So they're simple. You upload your receipt, and you'll get cash back for certain items you buy.
Really?
And they tell you,
what about
hey,
my ice cream? I get cash back on my ice cream?
on certain brands. Now, here's the catch. I don't want you to buy the name brand ice cream that's $2 more to save $1 when you could have got the generic brand. So still shop wisely.
You're stepping on my toes.
Only shop what's in your budget. But it could help you get some money back. If you spend $80, you might get $5-10 back. That helps. Every little bit goes a long way. So remember actual paper coupons. Remember these, Ken? I clipped these on Sundays with my dad growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Big fan of the paper coupon. A lot of them have gone digital now.
Yeah.
But all of these take an extra step. It takes a little bit more research. It takes a little bit more patience and diligence to make sure that before you impulsively walk through the grocery store and then get mad that prices are high, you go in with a list, you go in with a budget, you go in with a plan, and you go in willing to make some sacrifices in order to save some money.
Is there a rule of thumb, George, on how much a person could save? Let's say you've got let's say you're going to go spend $200 as your budget or $300 at the grocery store. How much of that could you save?
Ooh. I'm going to go if you can shave
with
off...
With paper or digital coupons.
I think if you can shave off 5 or 10% of each purchase, I'm calling that a win.
So I've seen these stories like where people get their entire thing for free. That's not real.
Well, you can do that, but you're not going to be able to survive off of that because you can't drink Tide detergent.
Well, you
know
can.
What I mean?
It's just not good for you.
The kids are doing it these days.
The kids are
apparently.
doing all kinds of stupid stuff.
So, you know what I mean, though? You're not going to, you can't do that with
So 10%,
rice.
5 to 10% is a realistic. And so all of a sudden, I mean.
Which is the amount of inflation we're seeing.
Yeah.
So it combats that. If you can save 8% and inflation's 8%, it's net zero.
Yeah.
So there's some quick tips for you all. I know there's no easy hack. I wish I could give you some amazing news, but it really just takes some diligence, some sacrifice, and some research in order to get through these strange times when we're seeing groceries up 8%. But also, let's not get crazy. It's 8%. So if it was, $1, now it's $1.08. We're not talking $3, $4, $5 more for that same thing. And this goes with eating out too.
See, now, George, this is why you are a Ramsey personality, a thought leader, and you're winning this space. Because you just
Basic math?
Well, because here's the deal. You make a very good point on the 8%, and you put it in real dollars and cents. All right? People freak out because that's all we get fed are negative headlines, right? The sky is not falling.
No.
Because I hear the stories too. And I'm like, well, I mean, and again, I'm not making a joke. I have 2 athlete boys in my house that are 16 and 13. My 16-year-old's a man-child. I mean, I eat a side of beef
He's
in
twice
2
my
days.
size, and I'm a grown man.
Yeah, I need to get longhorns in the backyard. That's the kind of rate of which we are going through protein. I'm serious.
Yeah.
So we've seen our bill jump. But at the same time, it's not like the end of the world. A little bit of discipline, a little bit of budgeting, and you can make your way through this.
Yeah, well, our plan works in good times and bad. And so times of inflation, you go, all right, we have margin in our budget because that's how we live our lives. We live on less than we make. We have an emergency fund. We don't have debt. And therefore, all of that money can go towards helping us survive inflation. And so that's what I want to remind people is follow these steps, do this plan because it works. And, I was just talking to my neighbor yesterday and we were complaining about gas prices.
Of course.
I just got an electric car. And so therefore I don't need to worry about that.
Oh, boy.
Here's what she
go.
said, Ken. She said, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm grateful because I can actually afford it. It's not fun, but I can afford it. And that level of contentment, that's something that we need to have as a society and go, hey, listen, I'm not going to be bankrupted by grocery prices.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people out there who are really, really hurting, and I have a lot of empathy for those people. But for most Americans, this is just man, that stinks. Yeah. Gas is $100 to fill up instead of $50.
Yeah. Same deal. We get back to the
Readjust
budgeting
the budget
that we talk about. When you know where your money's going, and budget is a plan that tells your money where to go, then you can weather this stuff. Coming up the rest of this week, we're going to take on the rest of the four walls. This kind of great content. George, you'll take on utilities, then housing, then transportation with food, make up the four walls. That's what we call it at Ramsey Solution, those basic fundamental needs. And we're going to help you fight the inflation. So that's coming up. George, before we get moving on here in the program, I need to know, people want to know, is it coupon or coupon?
I'm a big fan of coupon.
You're coupon?
I'm not a coupon guy.
Okay. I'm a coupon.
Oh, no.
I'm Q. He's Q. All right, discuss it amongst yourselves, however you are watching or listening to the show. I think it's coupon.
I might send you hate mail just for that.
What
coupon,
say
really?
you? All right, maybe we'll reveal. Coming up next, we'll take a poll inside the control room, and we'll see what the Ramsey Solutions, Ramsey Show team has decided. Is it coupon or is it coupon?
I think I'm on the right side of history here,
We'll
Ken.
see. Coming up next, more of your calls. Don't move. This is the Ramsey Show. All right, America, welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, George Campbell. And I told you folks, if you were with us last segment, we were talking about the value of coupons. And I asked George, I said, is it Q or coup? He said it's coup, as in coupon versus coupon. I said we would reveal the results. So we polled the control room. And George, you said you felt that you were on the right side of history. I shall give you the results. Are you prepared to handle it?
I hope so.
Okay, according to the control room, okay, that includes us. So we put us into the tally. It was 5Q, 2 coup.
Who else was coup?
James.
Me and James.
James and Bobby. Okay, so it was okay. And so then we went out to the lobby where we have a fantastic audience, by the way, watching live in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. And we went out to take pictures, and I just took a quick informal poll. I said, is it Q or coup? And the lobby was resounding that it was Q. So, George, you were on the wrong side of history.
They're all from the Midwest, Ken. It's not fair.
Oh, George,
it's a different breed there.
Careful. So, see, I got some head nods out there.
Right? I got my coupon.
George, there you go, hacking off the audience. All right, so there it is, folks. This is the kind of stuff you come here for. Hey, we've got an exciting announcement, George.
Hit me.
We've been talking about on the show about the Building Wealth live event making a stop in Orlando on May 19th. You and I will both be there.
Can't wait.
It's going to be fun with Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, John Deloney. But before we get there, we're making another stop. Drum roll, please, George. Thank you. That's very good. Very good. We're going to Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, Viva. Too much?
No, we're off the air now.
Okay. Viva Las Vegas. We're coming to you Thursday, May 5th. Thursday, May 5th. Building wealth is a hot topic right now. Everybody's got an opinion on how to do it, whether it's crypto, single stocks, or zero down real estate. And then you've got inflation. So we're going to walk you through what's going on today, teach you how to build real wealth. The financial principles that we teach are the only principles that work in prosperous times and in hard times. So we want you to become baby steps millionaires. We want you to join us at this event. Oh, it's going to be good. Building Wealth Live. Join Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, George Campbell, Dr. John Deloney, and myself. Vegas is where we're going to be May the 5th, and Orlando on May the 19th. Tickets start at just $25, or you can get a 4-pack for only $60. This is a great deal, so don't wait. Tickets are selling fast. Go right now. RamseySolutions.com/events. That's RamseySolutions.com/events.
Ken, can I just say the irony of us going to Las Vegas to teach you how to get rich slow?
Yeah. I know.
It's rich.
I know. And I might break out the polyester leisure suit for that event. I'm not sure. We'll just kind
You
of...
hung on to it for a time such as this.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to need that. So I might break that out. All right, let's get to the phones. 888-825-5225. Salt Lake City, Utah is where we join Jay. Jay, how can we help?
Hey, good afternoon, Ken, George. Thanks for taking the call.
You bet.
Question. I'm kind of curious how to navigate holding a full-time job, but starting something on the side that you would eventually want to take full-time. Basically work for yourself. I'm kind of in a position now where I trust the possibility of working for myself, even though there are obviously negatives and positives. But just kind of making that transition while working full-time, it's something that I think of these different scenarios, every day, and they could change from one day to the next.
Okay,
so my real estate license, insurance licenses, and I want to take that full-time eventually and work for myself.
Which one?
Just trying to navigate.
Are you trying to decide which is the best path?
Right, yes. Real estate, obviously, I think is kind of a, one transaction you have to do a lot better on, but insurance seems to be more stable. I'm just trying to figure out how I can navigate that, see what's going to work.
All right, so let's...
And I don't know who else to go to.
Sure. Okay, so I'm glad you called. Is your heart leaning towards one of those two a little bit more? In other words, do you get a little bit more excited? And I don't mean of the possibilities, because you were leaning...
Right.
The way you described real estate versus insurance was possibility-based. And I appreciate that. That's your head. I want to take your head out of this question for a moment, and I want to hear what your heart says. Is there one, insurance or real estate, that you get more excited about emotionally as it relates to the work itself?
I would say, without a doubt, real estate.
Okay, so great. All right, so that would be the one that I would choose as the leader. Here's what I want you to do. If you haven't already done it, I want you to use the proximity principle. I'm going to give you a copy of that #1 best-selling book when we hang up with you, so that you can really dive deep on this. But the proximity principle is a very simple thought. It says this: in order to do what I want to do, in this case it's real estate sales, I got to get around people that are doing that and in places where it is happening. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to hang out with a couple successful real estate professionals in your area. Whether you know one, maybe it's one you've used to buy a house or sell a house, or a friend of a friend or a friend of a family member. And I just want you to pick their brain. Take them to coffee and go, hey, what do you love most about what you do? What do you like the least? What's a great day look like? How did you get successful? What would you say to somebody who wants to be as successful as you? It's basically like doing a college term paper with them. Here's what you're doing there. I want you to do that 2 or 3 times. And in doing so, we want to give now some great logic. We're going to engage the brain again to match up with the heart. And you go, okay, I absolutely know that I know that I know that I would not only enjoy this, but that I would be good at it. That's what I would call clarify and verify, okay? That's the first part of your question. The second part of your question is, how do I go about moving from day job to dream job? You said side hustle. How do we work in a full-time job and then grow something on the side? Now, with real estate, I got to tell you, it's a little bit different. My normal answer, Jay and George, normally my answer is this. All right, look, it's very simple. We do the side hustle. We grow it to the point where we're actually making money. So that's first stage, right? We start small, we grow slow. And we take every nickel we make from the side hustle, Jay, and we put it in the bank. We don't spend it. We just put it out there. And we want to get to a point, this is my rule of thumb, 6 to 12 months of your current salary. This is not your emergency fund, folks. If you're Ramsey, folks, this is in addition to. So you may have to walk the baby steps out before you do this. But the idea here is, George, is that we've got a side hustle that can become a full-time job when it pays me what I make now or close to it with a great upside.
That makes sense.
Now, Jay, here's the reality. I've talked to a lot of big-time real estate pros about this particular issue because I wanted to know, can you win big as a part-time real estate agent? And their answer was no. At some point, you're going to have to go all in. So what that's going to look like for you is you're going to have to make sure your financial house is in order, no debt. Do you have any debt at all?
I have no debt. I have my mortgage, and I have about 3 months in my emergency fund.
Fantastic. So you keep walking the baby steps out. So for you, we're gonna get licensed, and we're gonna try to list, try to sell. We're gonna try to get about 6 months, 3 to 6 months of your income in the bank, and then I'd say go all in, because you're in a financial place to be able to do it. You've got an emergency fund, build your pipeline. But I think part-time real estate, that's showing houses on nights and weekends, really growing your personal relationship to a real network of, hey, people are recommending me for listing or for buying. And once you get about 6 months of your current salary in the bank, Jay, I'd say go all in. George, any financial tips?
I love that. I'll tell you, my dad got into real estate later in life for fun, as a hobby, not trying to take it full time, and he enjoys it. But I'll tell you, you really can't win without doing it full time. He does it because he wants to help local folks at his church who are moving here, help them find a place. But I think Jay can do this. It's just going to be a lot harder than you think, because there's so many real estate agents out there, and there's not a lot of inventory right now. So it may be best to wait another 6 months to a year and get this thing off the ground before we move in that direction.
So the key is you can get started in real estate part-time. You really can. And you can stack up enough money to where you can make the change. Notice I didn't say make the jump, make the leap. We're going to step off of the boat.
I like a step over a leap.
Yeah.
I'm not that athletic, so I like that move.
George, it's a good move for you. That's a good move for you personally and professionally, George. Maintain that personal brand. Hey, I want to thank our team in the control room. I want to thank my colleague, George Campbell. Fun hour. Thank you, sir. And also, we want to thank you, America. This is your show. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we help you live your best life by being healthy relationally, successful professionally, and peaceful financially. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, George Campbell. The phone number for you to jump in is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. It's toll free. Let's go. George and I are here for you. We're going to be real nice to you, I promise. And we're going to help you out, come up with some clear steps forward. Whether you've got a work issue or you want to make more money, or you're in a toxic environment with a boss or maybe a teammate, or you're just in a financial mess. We're going to help you out today, and we'd love to talk to you. Let's go to Los Angeles, California, the city of angels. Teresa is on the line. Teresa, how can we help?
Hi, Ken. How are you?
I'm living the dream, Teresa. What are you doing?
So I used your principles, and I went from having no job to having a job serving. And in the 4 months that I did, my work environment was so toxic, I put in my notice. So my general manager finds out and says, don't go. Let's put you somewhere else. Let's find a place for you. You're a great worker. Don't go.
Okay.
So he puts me in the office of the restaurant instead, so I'm on the back end of things. So I'm really happy and excited. And my first day was a few weeks ago, and I work with my direct supervisor, and she's very unhappy with me. She's upset and said I was a red flag because I quit and I couldn't hack it. And what do I need to do and in this time frame, it's been a few weeks now, I'm not really doing much. She already won't mentor me and won't train me to help really and assist her. And I know I could do it, but she doesn't like me, I guess, and said I was a red flag. And I want to know how I can get her, not to, I guess, like me, but I guess trust me or...
Okay.
I don't know.
All right,
I
so
don't know.
here's what I need to know. You were placed in this position by somebody that if I'm understanding the situation properly, that outranks her, correct?
Yes.
Who is that person? Is that the general manager, the overall? Like,
Yes.
explain to me that relationship.
Yes. He's the general manager, and she's like 1 or 2 down from him.
All right. And so he put you there because he didn't want you to leave the company. He really values you, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Does he know about how you're being treated?
No, I don't want to say. I almost talked to him, but I don't want to do that again because I feel like I need to like earn my street cred with her.
Not true. She's not
Really?
giving. Yeah, let me tell you why. She's not giving you the opportunity to earn anything. From day one, it sounds like to me, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like to me from day one, she looked at you as somebody she had to deal with, and that's why she was calling you the red flag, because you quit your other position, you can't hack it. She just doesn't like you for a variety of reasons, but it's all on her side. If she's treating you that way from day one, it's not like you did anything wrong. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. There was always something like we get along, but I always felt there was a wall up with me. I don't know. I mean, she's a lot younger than me too, so I don't know. Yeah, yes.
Is she newer?
No, she's been there 8 years.
Does she see you as a threat?
Yes.
Maybe,
Yes.
because I did say, like, look, I don't want your job. I just want to help. I want to do this. And when I did say that, it got better.
Well, you know what's interesting? You said I'm a little confused. I need you to clarify this. You said you get along with her, but it didn't sound like,
do.
well, that's not what I heard in the first 2 minutes.
I get along with anyone.
If someone gets along with me, it means they like me and I like them.
Yeah, but in this case,
no.
Teresa gets along with anybody. So meaning you managed to make it livable.
Yes. Yeah, yes. Like,
You
I mean,
all
it's
don't
not
get along.
terrible.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's like awkward silences, I guess, which I hate. But yes,
Okay, so here's the deal. You called me and you said, Ken, George, what do I do? All right?
correct.
And I'm going to tell you. You either be a big girl and go talk to this general manager who values you and puts you in this situation to win, and you go, here's what's going on. I'm just letting you know. I'm not trying to gripe. You put me here. You talked me into staying. She's not even using me. And it was from day one. There's something there, and I need you to help me navigate it, or this just isn't a fit. You have nothing to lose. You were already on your way out the door once. What are you worried about? You either do that, or you just go ahead and say, you know what? This isn't the place for me. Because absent of leadership, this gal's not going to change. That's what I know.
Okay.
You agree or disagree?
Okay.
What's your gut?
No, well, she is leaving for a promotion in 7 months. So that's why I thought, like, if I just stick it out and maybe towards the end she would see that I stayed.
Well, you
and
didn't
be
tell me
willing
that.
Well, I know.
So here's the deal. No, I'm glad. I'm
Okay.
having fun with you. Here's the deal. Can you stick it out? Can you put up with this relationship? Let's call it what it is. It's
Yes.
a work relationship. Can you put up with it the way it is right now, and you basically sitting around twiddling your thumbs, not because of you, but because of her? Can you put up with that for 7 more months?
Yes.
All right, then. What do you want to do?
I want to prove myself, and I want to move up. I want to move up in the company. I'm excited and so proud of myself that I went from just in 4 months. So I'm like, this momentum I have, I'm like, I want to show that I can do it, that I could be a
Okay.
great assistant and help.
And I appreciate that. But you are
Okay.
telling me that she's not allowing you to assist or help. That's what you told me.
Yes, I was hoping you'd say, like, do this, and then this will...
Well, but we don't do that. We don't just tell you in a situation. Now, George can tell you what to do with the baby steps and money, but in a situation like this, I can tell you what I would do, and I already told you that. I would sit down with the GM and go, "This is unsustainable."
Okay.
That's what I would do. I would talk with the GM and say, "Well, you know what? I take that back. George knows this about me. First thing I'd do, I'd sit down with this girl and go, "What's going on?"
To have an honest conversation.
Have an honest conversation that doesn't put her on the defensive. It just says, look, here's what I'm feeling.
Do you feel comfortable to have that conversation with her and say, hey, listen, I enjoy working with you. We're a team. I want us to both win. And I feel like there's like this weird tension. Am I wrong? And just see what she says.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I do. I feel comfortable enough to do that. Absolutely.
Well,
Yep.
start with her.
Okay.
If she can't have that conversation, then you go, all right, well, hey,
I'm going up.
Let's go meet with our general manager. I just want to sort this out so we can be productive so that we can get the job done.
And if you don't want to do those two things, you can stick it out. I don't think it's going to be great for your mental and emotional wellness, to be completely honest with you, but I also think you could do it. I think you can bite the stick for 7 months. She clears out. I don't know if that's going to open up the opportunity for you to step into her role or not, but again, you do what your heart's telling you to do here, and I admire your willingness to stick it out for 7 months. I don't know that I'd do that, but if I felt like that was the best opportunity, you can guarantee I would do that, George.
Yeah.
I'd suffer. I'll suffer for 7 months for a great opportunity. Absolutely.
You've suffered with me just co-hosting the show.
I didn't want to say that, but now that it's out in the open, folks, there's a reason why George and I suffer each other. No, George is the best, an absolute pro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, hey, thank you for the call, Teresa. It's your call, your decision, but you got to live with the decision that you make. All right, coming up next, more decisions, more calls, more breakthrough. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
The Ramsey Show continues. Thrilled to have you with us. I'm Ken Coleman, and I'm joined here in studio by my colleague, George Camel, spelled with a K, by the way.
Thank you for that, Ken. No one gets it.
Yeah, it occurs to me that I ought to at least tell some folks every once in a while it's with a K.
Camel
Because
with
they're
a K.
searching you with a C.
So millions of people a day on the Googles looking up George Camel with a C, and they're getting it wrong.
They can't find you. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I like that. And I also like the fact that you said the Google, because I say that to my 3 teenage kids, and it irritates them to no end.
They must roll their eyes a full 360 when you do that.
That, I say the talk instead of TikTok.
That one bothers me personally.
I say the gram.
But John Deloney says the internets, which is the most egregious of them all.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember for a while there was a thing called the interweb, which was kind of like a internet, World Wide Web, the interweb.
They were different things?
No, just that stupid term, just a mashup. Anyway, we digress. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Detroit, Michigan, the Motor City, is where Eric joins us next. Eric, how can we help?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call today. I have a question about refinancing a student loan. I just recently, in the last week, refinanced a student loan from my undergraduate and my graduate school for $146,000, and I got a rate of 2.1% locked in for a 10-year term, but I plan on paying that a lot faster. When I first started my undergraduate, I was 17 years old, and my parents had to take out a Parent Plus loan, and I've been paying on that, and it was always understood that I would pay for that. And the current amount on that loan is $18,000. And the APR is 7%.
Ouch.
And right now it's 0% because of the pause. But the 7% on the $18,000 is in my mom's name, and my mom doesn't have great credit. I've looked at trying to refinance it for her before, but she was never approved for a refinance with her credit. And so on the website that I had used to refinance my student loan, there was a way to bring over that loan if I was going to refinance it from the Parent Plus, and I just wondered what your guys' thoughts were on me doing that.
Is this a federal loan or a private loan, the Parent Plus?
It's a federal loan, I believe, because it's at 0%, but it is through a private vendor. I just know that currently it's at 0%.
Okay, because if it's a government loan, they don't allow you to simply transfer it. You can do that through a private lender if you would qualify for that. What I would do, the only way I want you refinancing, obviously this is a crazy high interest rate. Have you tried going through our friends at Splash Financial to see what their rate would be in their terms?
No, I went through Laurel Road for my original refinance just because they had the best rates. I've not checked any.
Yeah, give Splash Financial a shot. Here's the parameters, though. No matter who you go with, it should be completely free to refinance. There should be no fees. You should only go with a fixed interest rate. And I want you to have a shorter loan repayment because a lot of times they'll extend the payment and make you feel like you won. And then lastly, make sure it's a lower interest rate. And so if you can do all of those things, then I call that a win. But at the end of the day, I want you to pay this thing off as fast as possible and spend less time playing the interest rate game trying to get them lower. I do think it'll help because 7% on $18,000, that'll grow pretty fast. So check out our friends at Splash Financial and see if they can get you the right terms, the right rate. And if so, I would do that and move it into your name. But your parents took this out. That was the decision they made. And so they're on the hook. And so parents, remember, that's a scary situation to be in. Do not take out a Parent Plus loan. The terms are terrible. The interest rates are crazy high, and you put both you and your kids in a real financial predicament.
Yeah, and there's so many other great options. You don't have to feel this pressure, parents, to make a really bad financial decision for your kid's future. It's just it breaks my heart to see so many people burdened down with crazy debt that's impacting their entire life in a negative way, all from a good intention.
Yeah, and parents then can't accomplish their own financial goals because they have a Parent Plus loan hanging around their neck.
It
for
holds
junior who didn't
back.
even finish college.
Yeah.
That's a scary spot to be in.
That is. All right, Michelle's up next in San Antonio, Texas. Michelle, how can we help?
Hi, thank you so much for taking this call. I appreciate it.
Sure.
My husband and I have recently, actually it's my husband's business. He sold a business that he's been investing in and working in for probably the last 20, 30 years. He got $3 million, and we want to know how to best invest this money. We do have debt. We have a house and we have cars that probably total about, I would say, $600,000 in debt. So we do plan on paying that off first.
Nice.
Our house is worth probably $1 million right now. We owe like $485 on it, but we're probably going to stay in it for a while. So our first thought is, of course, real estate, buying a property near the beach somewhere in Texas, and putting in a rental pool and taking some rental income from that. But other than that, we really don't have an idea of what to do.
Well, this is a good problem to have. Congratulations, first of all, on the sale of the business.
So exciting.
So how old are you two?
We are 51.
Okay.
Wow, very young, by the way. Very young.
That's great. Have you guys thought about,
very young.
You're both still working, or what's going on now that you sold the business?
Well, my husband is not going to be able to work in that business for a year and a half. It's going to non-compete, so that's fine. I am a social worker. I make about $65,000 a year, which is not a whole lot, but
it's pretty good for a social worker.
He wants to do maybe buy properties, fix them up, and sell them. He's always built our homes that we've made money off of in the past, several years. And so he's very handy. He can do anything, as far as remodeling and things like that. So he's thought about doing that for a couple of years before he can go back into.
So he does want to get back into his original business.
He does in one way, shape, or form, yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what financially is the best move for you guys. Obviously, real estate is a fantastic investment, and he's got the know-how to do that. So I would make that part of your portfolio. Obviously, at your age, you can do some catch-up contributions and go hog wild in your retirement investing if you've got those options available. And then beyond that, if you don't have any tax-advantaged retirement accounts aside from real estate, you could just put it in a taxable brokerage account and have some of that money grow for you as well. And Dave does that. He parks it in index funds, and once the money grows and he wants to buy a piece of property, he just takes the money out and pays long-term capital gains on that and buy some real estate. And that can grow at market rate. Obviously right now the market's not great, but 10, 12%, have that money grow for you instead of sitting cash in an account would be your best bet.
Yeah. And Michelle, has your husband done any kind of restoration work before other than piddling around the house?
He's built the last 3 of our homes.
Whoa.
This is an impressive man.
Whoa. Let me step back a little bit. I thought, I said piddling. Yeah.
On the side
okay.
of working full time, yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Ken and I can barely build an IKEA bookshelf together.
I can't build anything. I can put the gas in the car. I'm limited beyond that. A little bit of air in the tires as well. But here's what I was going to say. George is right. Gave you sound advice there. I was just going to say that, now he's retired, and I would just be very careful with, too much of the restoration investing, you know what I mean? Because while he's obviously built a home, 3 homes, and he knows what he's doing, I'd ease into that a little bit, and I'd really go with George's other strategies first, kind of ease our way into that because, that restoration business might be a good one just to get into. If he just does part-time where he's doing kitchens here, bathrooms there, he's getting excited, he's kind of, he's got a little time to fish or play golf or whatever else. So that was the only caution I had, but clearly he knows what he's doing with the hammer and the nails and all that, George.
Yeah, it's an
Have you ever
impressive move.
hammered a nail, George, for
I've
real?
I've done it. I've hung a picture or 2 in my day. That's about it, Ken.
I love that you went to hang a picture.
I like to support local handymen in my area and handy women to do that kind of work.
Well, it makes for a better life and a better marriage.
Me and my wife literally ate a pint of ice cream watching a handyman install a floating shelf, and I went, this is worth $50 an hour. Totally worth it.
Oh, I've got to know, really quick, were the feet up or were they just seated
feet
normally?
Up. Oh, we were full throttle, man. Full entertainment, just watching them.
You are pathetic, but I love you. Pathetic, but I love you.
My wife said the same thing the other day.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
All right, he's pathetic, but he is smart, and he can help you. Don't move. More of your calls coming up next. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Welcome back, folks. The Ramsey Show continues. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Kamel. We're here taking your calls, 888-825-5225. You got some relationship, money, or work issues. That's a big, broad invitation. Come on. We're here to help you. And remember, we'll change your name, location, if that helps. If it's a sensitive topic, we want to get you a practical path forward for some breakthrough in your life. Let's get back to the phones. Portland, Maine is where Bryce joins us. Bryce, how can we help?
Hey, Ken and George. I appreciate you guys taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
So I bought a new car in July of 2021. I'm 18, still living at home with my parents. And I have around $20,000 left on that auto loan. My question is, I also do some reselling on the side with sneakers. So I have around $18,000 worth of collectible Nike and Jordan shoes.
Hold on. Whoa. Slow down. I don't want to roll past that. You got a real shoe guy on the line with you, with me, and the Air Jordans. I mean, are these vintage or are these like newer? Explain this to me.
So I don't have many vintage ones. I have more of the like newer collaborations.
Yeah.
So the question was, do I sell them now and continue or pay it off in full, or do I let them build in value and continue to make the regular payments?
So are you collecting these, or are you reselling?
So I do a bit of both. So basically, I'll try to get 2 or 3 pairs if I can, sell one, pay off the pair that I currently have.
Got it.
So I can kind of keep one and sell one and make my money. So I basically pay off the one that I'm holding on to.
Are you buying these shoes with cash?
No, I use a credit card.
Oh, he whispered it. Okay, Bryce.
I like this kid.
I think you're a real bright guy.
He whispered it.
You have an entrepreneurial spirit. Clearly, you're really good at this. But this thing is going to bite you in the butt if you're not careful.
Yeah, in fact, I got a question on that, George. Bryce, of the sneakers that you say are $18,000, are you carrying any debt on that $18,000 worth of sneakers?
No debt.
So right now you have $18,000 in value or liquid value of shoes, tennis shoes.
Correct.
And you owe $20 on the car.
Yes,
What kind of car is it?
It's a Honda Civic.
Okay.
George,
I'm a Honda Civic guy. This
George,
is my
this is in
territory.
your lane here.
All right, Bryce. Here's 2 options. One, you sell your entire shoe collection.
Yep.
That hurts, right?
Yeah.
Would you even be willing to do that? You called us asking, but are you willing to?
I would if I got, if I heard the right. I need some opinions. That's what I'm kind of.
Let me ask you an honest question. Why all of a sudden do you care about paying off debt?
I'm just I don't really like to carry debt. I always pay my credit cards off early when I can. I never make the minimum payment. I always pay them off in full. I just don't like debt.
So would you agree that becoming debt-free is the best thing you can do for Bryce right now at 18 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, George, we're going to popcorn in and out here. I got to know, how much is the car worth, the Civic?
It's new or in the condition it's in right now.
Right now.
Did you mess it up?
It's a 2021. You said you bought it in the summer of 2021. You been drag racing or what? What's the deal?
No. Just no.
What is it
I'm not
worth
that
today?
crazy.
I know, I'm kidding. What is it worth today if you sold it today?
Probably locally I could probably get around 24, 25 in
Dude,
the current
you know
market.
what?
I'd sell that.
I'm selling the car and driving a beater and keeping the shoe collection.
You're 18. You live with your parents. George is right. Because here's the other question I had. Do you want to stay in the sneaker business? I mean, do you know enough about it?
I know the market very well. I do this, I've been doing the sneakers since 15 to now, but I've been mainly doing retail stuff.
So you don't want to. So you don't want to do it long term.
No. If I can make a quick buck, I will. But
let me ask you this:
it's not something.
How much of the $18,000 shoe collection? Because you said part of it is you flip them for some money, the other part is true collector. So I'm going to engage your collector's heart. I'm just curious. Give me a round number, because you may not have thought through this. How many do you really want to keep? If you're going to sell some, but the others you go, man, I really want to hold on to these just for truly being a collector and letting them go up in value from years and years from now. You got a number?
I have around 3 pairs that I absolutely really don't want to let go.
All right, how much are those worth?
I know them. Currently, each of those are worth around $2,000 each.
So $6,000.
Right.
All right, George. All right, Bryce, I'm going to hand you to George. George, I got an idea. What if he sells every other shoe? All right, except those 3.
Which would be about $12,000 worth.
He's going to net 12.
Okay.
He sells the car. He thinks it's worth 25. Let's say he's right. He owes 20. Now he's got 17. And he's debt-free, and he cuts the credit cards
So he sells the car for 25.
Sells it for 25.
He has 25. He pays off the 20.
He nets 5 on the car.
Plus the 12. That's 17.
Plus he's got 17 cash.
And you can get a better car than a beater.
Okay.
Much better than a beater, and
here's what I know about
no
Bryce.
debt.
He can get this collection back up and going in no time. I mean, if a 15-year-old can do this, 18-year-old Bryce is even better at it now.
George, tell him why the credit cards is a stupid idea.
Bryce, you play with snakes, you're going to get bit. And you're a sharp dude. You don't need to do this with debt. You told me right now that you don't even like carrying debt, so why mess with it? When you have the cash, then it's pure profit at that point if you're buying and selling shoes.
Right.
And same with your car. You're making payments on something that's going down in value. A car loan is one of the stupidest decisions when it comes to debt you could make. And the truth is, I think you're an amazing, amazing, bright young dude. And you're going to crush it for the rest of your life if you can avoid debt. Which I know you can.
Bryce, you can do it with cash.
Also, 3 pairs of shoes worth $6,000.
Yeah, what are they?
That's what my last car cost me,
All
Ken.
right, stop it, George. What are the shoes, by the way? What are the shoes? The 3 pair.
So the 3 pairs, I have a pair of off-white Air Force Ones, the University Gold pair that released in Boston, and 2 pairs of Travis Scott Jordan 1s.
And those are each worth $2,000 each.
About that, and the sizes, yes.
What size you got, by the way? I'm just curious. Asking for a friend.
This might be the first time someone makes a deal live on the Ramsey Show.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not going to pay you $2,000 for a pair of tennis shoes, man.
Oh, we can work something out.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I am interested in the off-white Air Force Ones. We'll talk about it.
The shoe
on
world
break.
hurts my brain.
Does it hurt your brain?
What happens if Travis Scott does something stupid and all of a sudden the shoes are worth $0 because no one wants to be associated with him?
Well, that's why I didn't ask about the Travis Scott ones. You make a very good point.
Right, Bryce?
But Michael Jordan's Michael Jordan, baby.
Sure.
Air Force Ones are Air Force Ones.
That's true.
All right, real quick before we let you go, young man, you're 18. What do you have an idea what you want to do? You dreaming about something?
No, I'm not too sure right now, honestly.
Are you
I'm
in high
kinda
school
a
still?
stasis. No, I graduated in 21.
Are you taking a gap year?
I'm not sure about college right now.
Good man. All right. Hang on the line. I'm going to give you 2 things, all right? We're going to give you the Get Clear Career Assessment. It's a 20-minute online assessment, all right? And it's going to help you get some real clarity on some great ideas, but more importantly, a purpose statement based on your talent, things you do best, passion, work you love to do, and mission, results you want to create. And I'm also going to give you my best-selling book, From Paycheck to Purpose. Think of the Get Clear Career Assessment, Bryce, as a compass, and the book is kind of the guide up the mountain. Hang on the line. We're going to give you both of those. So Kelly will give him an assessment, Get Clear Career Assessment, and the book From Paycheck to Purpose. Boy, he's one of those kids that if he really listens to you on this whole debt thing, he's going to be wildly successful.
Because he has the foundation. He's got the principles down of how to do business.
Yeah.
Now we just have to do it without debt. So he's not calling back going, hey, I'm $200,000 in debt.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was going to make a huge profit off this get-rich-quick scheme.
Yeah. Kelly, ask him what the Ken Coleman deal would be for the off-white Air Force Ones. We'll see. We'll see during the commercial break. We'll see. I think it's a little high price for me, George. I don't think it's in the envelope for this one.
Would you look cool in them? I don't know.
I think I would.
Well, I'll let Kelly decide that.
Oh, boy. I know what the answer is now. Hey, but I also know we're coming right back with more of your calls on The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined in studio by my colleague and co-host, George Camel, with a K. Excited to have you with us. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. We're going to get back to the phones real quick, George. I wanted to call out something that I think is very relevant to our audience, and that is that community college enrollment is down, but skilled trades programs are booming. So this is an educational, hey, get qualified to make more money, bigger shovel. And boy, oh boy, the sands are shifting. All right, here's a quick snapshot where we are since the pandemic began. So let's call it, March 2020? More than 1 million students have held off from going to college, opting to go to work instead. Our last caller, 18-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
He graduated in 2021. Kids making money selling shoes. By the way, I guess I should call back to that. Kelly did pull up the Air Force Ones, the off-white Air Force Ones that I was looking at. Not for me.
Wow. All right. The deal is off, Bryce.
The deal is off, Bryce. Well, we still want you to do everything else that George told you to do. So Bryce is an example, though, of here he is. He's out making money, very entrepreneurial, hasn't gone to school yet. 2-year public schools have been among the hardest hit. We're talking about community colleges, down about 750,000 students,
Wow.
George. That's 750 million, George, if you're keeping score.
Thank you for the math on that.
Skilled trades programs are the exception. Across the country, associate's degree programs in fields like HVAC and automotive repair are swelling. This from NPR, this article I'm citing. Now, another area, George, that I think for people that are handy and they're going, hey, I want a side hustle, maybe a weekend gig, maybe if you've got a different kind of a shift, maybe you're working nights and you want to make some money. If you know how to swing a hammer,
oh, yeah. Construction, man.
huge. There's a shortage in qualified construction workers. According to a September 2021 survey of the Associated General Contractors of America, the survey found that 89% of contractors are having a difficult time finding workers who were trained for the job. That affects project timelines. Of course, 61% of contractors reported project delays because of workforce shortages.
Ken, you're going to love this one. The federal government only spends $1 on career training for every $6 it puts into college prep.
Wow.
So we're preparing kids for college for the 2 to 4 years and nothing beyond that.
Nothing. So let me just give this a little bit of real Main Street application. Okay? Let me tell you what a skilled, okay, and I don't mean like college skill, we're talking about trades. If you're good with a power saw, a hammer, all that kind of stuff that you don't know, you even know what I'm talking about.
I pay people to do that.
You pay people and eat ice cream while they do it. All right? You're looking at $250 a day right now in Williamson County, this area around Nashville. $250 a day.
That's good money.
That's a minimum. So, you're looking for that side hustle, George, make some money to get out of debt. And here's the other thing. What we're seeing is the reason that people are pulling away from community colleges is they're becoming less and less relevant as opposed to going straight to a trade school, including technology schools, meaning not a traditional 4-year college, but ultimately some type of boot camp like Bethel Tech, which is a 9-month program.
Well, the big thing is people are rethinking the value of college, and this means securing a high-paying job without taking on too much debt. Because as we know, the trades are a really affordable way to get the education you need, to get the skills you need, to then get a really high-paying job at the end of that.
That's right.
So big fan of the trades.
All right, good stuff. Let's go to Bowling Green, Kentucky next, where Blake joins us. Blake, how can we help?
Hey, guys. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
So I had a question about just kind of looking for a job and, kind of what strategy to use, because I just recently finished up college and I got a mechanical engineering degree. But, I put in applications a bunch of places here. There's a lot of industry around here and a little bit extended from the area, but I'm having a tough time with that. And I think one reason that it's hard is I don't have a lot of good internship experience or project experience, and it seems like in interviews I don't have a lot of times good answers for how I would handle if they give a hypothetical situation or if they say tell me about something, how you've handled this situation in the past or something, you know what I mean?
What is your answer to that?
Well, that was kind of a broad question. It depends on what
but give me an example. Here's what I'm wondering. Let me tell you why I'm digging into this. I'm wondering if you're applying for positions that you really shouldn't be applying for. I wonder if there's more of entry-level positions that get you in where you don't have to answer all those experience questions. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So what's the answer? You know your world better than I do. Are there positions that don't require that experience as much, so therefore you're not going to bomb that question? Because that's really what's going on. You're unable to answer it because you don't have an answer. Is that true?
Yeah, that's pretty much
Okay, then.
It's a lot.
So back to the question: what are entry level positions for a mechanical engineer? Do you know what they are? You don't have to tell me, but do you know what they are?
I mean, like what specific roles I would be?
Yeah, entry
filling?
level, meaning a guy coming out of college with a mechanical engineering degree doesn't need experience because this is entry level. Do you know what
Right.
those types of jobs are?
I mean, I don't know particularly, and I know a lot of some of the manufacturing plants hired entry-level positions.
Okay, my point is, Blake, at first I was wondering what your strategies were, but you're getting interviews, correct?
I've gotten a couple.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some strategies overall, but I want to make sure you get where I'm going. You need to be looking for entry-level positions. In other words, no experience
I have
required.
been.
I know, but my point is keep looking because they're out there. You know, you're not the first student to come out of with a mechanical engineering degree, or quite frankly, any engineering degree, and have to get in somewhere. You're not the first person to ever have to do this. Where do those people go? I mean, this might be a phone call back with your professors or your career placement people to go, where else do I need to be looking? And we need to be going after that. Now, that's the first part of my advice is we got to go for jobs that don't require experience because you don't have any. Now, the second piece is you mentioned internship. This is about relationship, and so are getting more interviews. So the next part of my advice is all the same. How many people do you think, give me a ballpark, you know, whether really closely or as an acquaintance in Bowling Green, Kentucky and surrounding areas? How many people?
Just people, period.
Yeah. How many people do you know? In your area?
Probably at least a couple hundred.
Couple hundred. And how many people would you say each of those couple hundred people know in the area?
Something similar or more.
All right. You're the smart engineering guy. Do you know what 200 times 200 is? What's the answer?
400,000. So
you have access to a lot of people, and you got to start acting that way. This is about relationship. I'm going to give you my best-selling book called Proximity Principle, and this is a absolute step-by-step guide to the people and places you need to be putting yourself in right now, and you're going to get more interviews. And more importantly, Blake, you're not just going to get interviews, you're going to have a relationship that recommended you for the interview, and so they're already going to have a great impression of you before you ever walk in the door, which in other words means you're going to have a competitive advantage. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
George, final words.
I just want you to have some drive and confidence, man. I can hear it in your voice. You sound defeated. And if you walked in with me for an interview, I'd be like, I want a guy who is passionate, who cares. So show that in your next interview and go, man, I don't have all the experience, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes to figure it out.
That's right.
I'm here for this. I want to be on your team. I want you guys to win.
I got the talent, baby.
That's the attitude.
I got the desire. I'm who you need. I can do it. But leverage those relationships. Hang on the line. Kelly's going to get you a copy of the Proximity Principle. Read it, do it, and watch the opportunities fly in for you, and you're going to crush them. Hey, big thanks to our team in the control room who do this thing that we get to call The Ramsey Show. Big thanks to my colleague, George Camel, and to you, America. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we help you live your best life by being healthy relationally, successful professionally, and peaceful financially. 888-825-5225 is the number. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my co-host and colleague, George Camel with a K. 888-825-5225. We're here to help you with your money questions, your work questions, your relationship questions, just anything around life. What are we doing? Well, we're going to jump in and we're going to look at practical steps forward so that you can get breakthrough and transformation where you need it. By the way, all of those areas, George, as you know, your work life, your money life, your relationship life, they're all connected.
Interwoven.
And if you're winning in one and you're just falling apart in two, or any combination.
It's a flat tire. You can't drive like that.
Yeah, and you need to be winning in all three to really max out and live the life that you're supposed to live and that you can and should live. So that's why we're here. You ready to get to the phones?
I'm pumped.
All right, Dallas, Texas is where we go. Ann is there. Ann, how can we help?
Hi, it's so good to talk to you guys.
Good to talk to you. What's up?
So my question is, I'm planning a career transition to where I know I'm going to have to get a pay cut for a season. And so I'm just wondering how to best financially prepare for that transition.
What do you give us a little bit more detail specifically? What are you transitioning to and how big of a pay cut?
So I'm an occupational therapist. I kind of make pretty much at the top of my career field. And so,
which is what?
The transition, I make about $100,000 a year.
Okay.
And I'm transitioning to go back to school in the near future. So starting with kind of getting a little bit more experience. So I know I'm going to take a pay cut to about, I'm anticipating $60,000 a year.
Okay, so
60 to 70.
You're going to be working while you go to school?
Well, so this initial transition to get like a certain amount of experience, because I'm planning to get my PhD, so I need research experience, and so that job will give me the research experience, which is about a year, and then that's to get me back to going to a PhD program, which I don't have to pay for, but I know it's like a stipend, which brings me down to like $30,000 a year, depending on the program. And then I know I'm going to be working because my job, I will be able to work while I go to school.
What are you going into? PhD and what to do what?
So that's kind of where I'm still unsure as far as like the program, but definitely going into like a neuroscience PhD.
Okay. All right. Well, you didn't call for that specific issue, so I don't want to take you too far down that path. So if I heard this right,
well,
George...
I thought about calling to your show. So.
Yeah, you need to, because I want to make sure, even though that PhD is being paid for, I want to make sure that that's the right path, because we're talking about some serious financial sacrifice. If I heard this right, George, she's making $100 now. She's going to take a job that'll get her the research experience that's going to put her between 60 and 70. And then if you get in and you still move forward on the PhD program, then you're going to go all the way down to just living off of that stipend. Real quick before I hand you off to George on this, are you in one income? You in a relationship? Double income? What's going on?
One income, single. I'm completely debt-free. Okay. I have a fully funded emergency fund, and then I have another $20,000 just saved up as like a regular savings.
And you're incredible. Most people in your shoes, they go, yeah, I got $80,000 student loans for my occupational therapy degree, and now I don't know what to do. But you're in a great financial position. And so how urgent is this program coming up? Are you entering this fall?
No, so I still have to apply for it. And then it's like in the next year.
Okay.
Or
now, in your financial position,
year plus.
Could you live off of $60,000?
Yeah, currently I'm living off of 40.
Yay!
If you can learn to live on that, then when you go down to 60, you're not going to feel it that much. Where's all the extra money going right now? Just into savings? You said you had 20 set aside?
Yeah, it's going into my savings. I paid off my student loans last year, so I went to that, and then.
So this is some newer income you now have that's not going towards debt.
Right, and so I kind of just want to know how to allocate it, because I know we want to save, or we want to know where everything goes, and so that's kind of where.
Yeah,
I'm at.
Are you doing a monthly budget currently?
I'm not the best at it, but yes.
Can I help you out with that? I'll gift you 1 year of Ramsey Plus, which will include Every Dollar Plus, our premium budgeting tool, and that will connect to your bank account. It'll make it super easy to track, because making a budget's one thing. Tracking it is really where you see the progress. So if you do that, if I give you that, would you do it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hang on the line. Kelly will get that for you, and we'll also give you Financial Peace Universities included inside of Ramsey Plus. So watch those videos because you're on the path. You're doing this stuff, but I want you to stay on the path as your income goes down, because the key here is keeping margin in your life regardless of your income. And if you still have money left over, making 60, making 30, or you supplement it with some of that savings to get you through that program, you're going to be doing real good on the other side of this with no debt and a huge pile of money.
Yeah, I mean, she is off to a fantastic start. I was really cringing, waiting for her to share with us
the numbers.
Yeah, but she's got a great emergency fund, just really rolling along.
And to this end, Ken, I want to remind people the options that you have when you do what Ann did. When you can go to school, do a debt-free or pay off the student loans really fast if you've already got them.
Yeah.
The options it gives you to even enter a program like this and not be as worried. If you had $100,000 in debt, you can't go down to 30. You can't breathe.
Right. I will tell you, I'm glad you brought that up, because her peace, Ann's got true financial peace. And I, by the way, Ann, I do hope you call my show. Call the Ken Coleman Show, because I'd like to spend a little bit of time diving deep on maybe the direction she could go, because you heard her go, I'm not 100% sure. So in this case, even though she's got the PhD paid for, which I thought that was wonderful.
Yeah.
It's still time, George. The money's not the factor, but it's still the time. And I'd hate to see somebody pursue a PhD not being sure what's on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Let's spend the extra time necessary on the front end as opposed to spending a 2-3 year PhD program.
Well, she sounds real driven. And the fact that she said, well, I'm already at the top of this, and I don't think it's just about money for her. No. I think she does want to just grow in her career very much as well. And if there's money on the other side of that, that's great. Impact and income.
Yeah. And I think that's it. I think she knows the direction. She needs to spend a little extra time getting clear before we make a time commitment. You know, the two most important things, time and money, man. And it's not always just a money play. Time. Because, by the way, that's money. She doesn't need a PhD, and she can get right into the field, start making more money. That's just advancing 2 to 3 years worth of income, which is what we talk about here on the Ramsey Show. Talking about your income is your greatest wealth building tool. So good stuff. Thank you so much for the call. Well, sharp young lady. That's so exciting. Don't tell me these young people don't have a bright future. That's just garbage. All right, don't move. More of your calls coming up. This is the Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
Welcome back, America. You have joined the conversation here on The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my co-host and colleague, George Camel. The phone number is 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Let's go to Tampa, Florida. Maria is on the line there. Maria, how can we help?
Hello.
Hi, Maria.
Sorry about that. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
You bet.
So I have small children, so I'll just get right to it.
Okay.
I am wondering how my husband can transition working as a 1099 contractor for a locally owned tow truck company to doing it for ourselves. And I can provide any context you'd like.
Okay. So this might shock you. I don't know much about the tow company business. So
Okay. There's a big need, not enough drivers, and a lot of people who need help. Essentially, the owner is a buddy of ours who is fairly removed from the operation due to personal health reasons. And so my husband is actually dispatching his own tow truck calls as the only tow truck driver right now for the company.
If your husband...
He's doing all the work.
Right. No, I get it. So the need is great. That's a good sign for a new business. The question is, what kind of equipment is he going to need besides a tow truck, and how does one go about getting a tow truck if you don't have the cash to pay for it? Because, we're not going to recommend that he go into debt. So how would he do that?
That's where we're asking. So we are still in baby step 2 for our household. We have about $8,000 left in debt. And that's the thing. So the truck is expensive, used or new, very expensive. But that is the expensive part of getting started. We don't really need anything else to just get going.
How much is a tow truck used?
A lot, like $50,000. And we don't want to do that. We can't do that. We don't want to do that. My mom said she'd buy it. We don't want her to do that. But here's the deal. When he's taking calls all week long, we split him 50-50 with the owner. When he earns a total of $4,000 a week on average for the company, but then we have to split that, and then we pay the fuel. So we pay about 50%, about 20 of that, 20% is fuel, and then 30% comes home with us.
Okay.
Before taxes
So he's
or
making,
anything. And so
is he making close to 6 figures then?
Before we have to split, yes. And so for our take-home pay, no. But for what the company is earning with just his driving and dispatching, yes. And that's where we're like, okay, how do we do
let's do this on our own so we could not have to cut this by 50%.
Exactly. And the owner has a whole bunch of debt. He did it the wrong way. We're so grateful for him, but he did it like every wrong way possible.
Now,
and so his entire 50% is just like debt.
How willing would the owner be to let him take over if he's kind of unable to run it?
That is a wonderful question.
I'm just wondering how hard is it to start a tow truck business from scratch and build the clientele and build the business?
It's a good question, George. But Maria, I don't like it. I don't think that's what you were saying, George. But I don't want them taking over a business that's saddled with debt. My question
is, if you would hand it over, we would do it.
Well, I would not take the debt with that deal.
No, you do not do that. It's not worth it.
Oh, is that what you mean? Don't take the debt.
Yeah, don't take the debt. Let me ask you this: are you suggesting if I came up with $50,000 right now magically for the used tow truck, is that all he needs is one truck to be able to do the numbers you're telling me, or is it much more than that? More trucks?
So no, literally needs the truck to get the truck registered and licensed in the state. And then we already have, without being unethical and shady to the owner, because it's information that can be publicly sourced, we already have the contact information for the contracts required to take calls in our area to produce at the same volume that he is. The only difference would be who the contractors that we are being reached by, like, hey, our client needs a tow on the side of the road, who they're paying at the end of the day.
Let me ask a silly question. Can you rent the truck? Could you rent a truck?
I have considered asking the owner if we could rent his truck, but he doesn't seem willing to move much past the 50%. As when we started, we were at 30, and now he's giving him 50, and he kind of seems to be really stuck there. I think he has bills, and he's not earning any money anywhere else. And we've got dreams, we've got goals. I would love to be the one that gets to decide where that $4,000 every week goes.
No, I totally understand.
It would not be going to debt.
But my point is even if it's not the owner, who else would rent you a tow truck? Because now George, correct me, but this is a cash flow game, and so I know they got debt. I'd like to see the $8,000 gone.
You're saying if you can rent it for $1,000, you can make $4,000.
If you can rent it, now we're not in debt. It's a cash flow of getting the business going. I would look into renting the truck
in order to save up the $50,000 to buy one used eventually.
Eventually, you build the business
to where. What are the rules? I'm sorry, for doing this while we have our own debt. Like, if it was going to cost $7,000 to register a truck,
you guys can pay off your debt real fast. You have $8,000 in debt. That needs to be gone within a few months.
I'd do that first.
And you don't have an emergency fund, right?
Correct.
How much money do you guys have right now?
I can have one really fast. I have $3,000 because we just had a baby.
So
and
you have
I
$3,000 to
haven't
your
moved
name
it out yet.
right now.
In our savings, yes.
Okay. So what you need to do is we need to get rid of this $8,000. Then we need to save up 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then we can focus on, first of all, we need to be investing too. There's other parts of life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how old are you two?
In our late 20s.
Okay. Have you started investing at all?
No, we haven't. We've had debt since our honeymoon. That's where it started.
Well, this is the year. If you can get rid of this debt, get the emergency fund in place, you can be investing before the year is over, 15% of your income. Then beyond that, I want you to start to build this business. So we need to put pause on this business right now.
That's correct.
While we clean up the mess. Because then you're going to have some financial peace, some stability, a foundation. Then we can focus on getting this business off the ground. And we're going to do it with cash. Don't get starry-eyed and take out a loan for $50,000 because you can make $4,000 a week.
Yeah. And George, I'm so glad that you walked her through that because, folks, there are other people in the same situation. And Maria, you need to understand this. That tow business is still going to be there. It's still
People will still need a tow. Imagine that.
The opportunity for you and your husband is going to be there. And the good news is you'll have no personal debt. You have a fully funded emergency fund. You'll be in baby step 4 where you're putting 15% towards your retirement. You'll be saving up for those babies, educational future, and the business will still be there. I get it. I want to say that I completely understand there's an angst there for her and her husband because they're looking at the numbers on paper.
They're going, we're getting ripped off, man.
They're going, oh, the opportunity is huge. But it's like, oh, well, you're not taking into account if one thing or 1.5 things or 2 or 3 things go wrong and you're in debt, this big dream falls apart and the very dream becomes a nightmare.
That's a good word. You know, my barber did this. He was working for a place, and they get, 50% of the cut. So he went, hey, I can make 100% if it's in my own chair. But that means starting my own business. And so he started making that move and ended up switching over.
Yeah, it can be done. All right, so let me ask everybody a question. When you think of a millionaire, what kind of job do you picture millionaires having? Is it some kind of high-powered executive like a VP or a CEO? Well, here's the reality. Only 15% of millionaires actually have jobs like that. The reality is that top 5 careers for millionaires in America are engineer, accountant, teacher, manager, and attorney. That's just one of the surprising things our team found out when we conducted the largest study of millionaires that has ever been done. Our study also made it clear that to become a millionaire, you've got to invest wisely. George was just talking about this. And a big part of that is getting good investing advice. You need to work with an investing pro who can walk with you and teach you about the options that are right for you so that you actually understand what you're investing in and why you're investing in it. Our team recommends trustworthy, vetted investing pros from all over the country. We call those folks SmartVestor Pros. If you would like to get in touch with a SmartVestor Pro in your area, and you can, they're everywhere, go to RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor and start building wealth today. That's RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor. All right. George, we still got calls to take, man. The phones are lighting up. 888-825-5225. We're going to get to all of them coming up next. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're not using PureTalk for your wireless, you're paying too much. PureTalk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to PureTalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to PureTalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I like that vibe right there, that music. Feels very Get Smart. The old school Nick at Night, for those of you that are old enough.
Ken, you're showing your age again.
I know, I'm dating myself. I feel like a little 1965 spy novel kind
You
of
also
show.
mentioned Thelma and Louise to a couple out during the break. I had to Google it.
You don't know Thelma and Louise?
I've heard about it, but
it's one of the great road trip movies of all time.
Yeah, from the 80s.
All right, he's George Camel. I'm Ken Coleman. Whoa!
Kelly's offended.
Shots fired by young George.
I don't watch movies that aren't in 16:9 and in color, Ken. Okay? I'm sorry. I have standards.
What year were you born, George?
89.
1989. We'll just leave it at that. 888-825-5225. You're a resident millennial, George.
Thank you. Some people are offended by the fact that I was born when I was born. I can't help it.
No, it's not your call.
Thank you.
It was a great time, though. At least you were born in the 80s.
I feel good that I escaped the 90s.
One of the great decades of all time. 888-825-5225. Jacqueline joins us in Fort Worth, Texas. Jacqueline, how can we help? Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I hated to, but I'm glad you all talked because I didn't want to come after that lady did, but there's hope for her. But I'm in a good spot with my house.
Okay, good.
How can we help?
I just want to make sure. I want to do a do-over, and I'm kind of excited about it. I want to make sure it's not a money motivator. I'm thinking about selling my house. I went to an open house in the neighborhood, and the house was selling like for $80,000 more than I paid for my house, and it's the same exact house, built the same year.
Yeah.
So whether I sell or not, I'm gonna be okay. But just want to make sure I'm making the.
So why are you looking to sell?
I mean, well, it's not. I'm not in love with it, but it's a nice house.
How long you been in the house?
I'm gonna wait until November. It'll be 2 years.
Okay,
because I want to
good.
avoid the capital gain.
Okay, good. And why are you selling? Are you trying to pay off debt?
No, I'm in a good spot with that. I am divorced for the past 5 years, and only debt I have is a $6,000 consolidation that I did. I paid off 2 cars, and I paid off a lot of stuff.
Good. So you have $6,000 left. So you don't need to sell the house.
Allowed me to. Huh?
You don't need to sell the house in order to pay off the debt. You can just do that just through your cash flow.
I don't need to sell the house to pay off the debt, but me selling, I was going to move and go back home. Fort Worth, this is not my home. And, I can help my sister without moving with my sister. But I want to do a do-over. I want to get another house. It's not my ultimate house.
How much would you make on the house after you pay off the loan?
I'm not sure, but I don't even think they're going to get that. If they selling the house for $80,000 more than I paid for it, I'm assuming somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000
is what you would net, even after closing costs.
I'm thinking that's just
Let's call it 30.
I'm just thinking.
So now you skip town and you got $30,000 to your name. You've got no debt. Do you have a fully funded emergency fund?
Okay, debt. I'm working on.
Well, that would become your emergency fund, right? Because by November.
That would more than cover my emergency fund. I'll be debt-free in a fully funded emergency fund.
Okay, good. Because by November, this debt should be gone, the $6,000, and then.
Oh yeah, this $6,000 will be gone by June, July, or before.
Okay, and then I would try to cash flow that emergency fund so that when you sell the house, that $30,000 you can use towards your next goal, your next down payment, wherever you're moving to live.
That's what I was saying to do. I wanted to do a do-over to do it the
That's
way
the plan.
that you all recommended.
I mean, you just told me you don't like the house and you want to move. You don't want to even live there anymore.
I don't hate the house, but I'm in Texas and my home is Georgia.
Jacqueline.
You just said, I don't want to live in Fort Worth. It's not my home. I don't like the house. Just move. It's that simple. Wait till November. It is. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, there it is. I think tonight, go ahead and, maybe play a little James Brown, Georgia, in the background while you're listening.
I didn't know where you were going with that. Okay,
well, she wants to go back home.
Yeah.
She wants to be near her sister, presumably some other family.
And in the meantime, before you list it, let's pay off the debt. Let's get the emergency fund in place.
Right. Yeah, in this
do
case,
it the right way.
she didn't want to be there. There's no long-term reason for the house, so in this case,
I think she just wanted some confirmation.
Yeah, there you go. Well, appreciate the call, Jacqueline. I love it. All right, George, today's question of the day from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself, folks, why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Make sure that you use the promo code Ramsey so that you get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Jennifer in Wisconsin. She says, currently my husband and I are on baby step 2. I have a full-time job in accounting, and I also work part-time in the evenings and on weekends. My part-time schedule does not conflict with my full-time job at all. My boss heard that I was working 2 jobs and was concerned about it. Honestly, I believe it's coming from a good place. He gave me a pretty decent raise so that I don't have to work 2 jobs. That was very gracious of him. However, I want to continue working both jobs until we're in baby step 3. I did scale back on hours at the second job, but I'm concerned that he may find out that I'm continuing to work the second job. Is it wrong to have 2 jobs if they don't conflict with each other?
No, it's not wrong. And you should not be worried about him finding out if you're still working the second job, unless we're missing something in the question. He may mean well, but what fear is driving this leader's decision to kind of go, hey, I'm concerned about you working 2 jobs. Here's where the question comes in for Jennifer. Was your performance in any way slipping? Was it being affected by the second job? If the answer, George, is unequivocally no, then, at the end of the day, it's not his call.
Yeah. And if she hasn't had the conversation with him, she can be as honest as she wants. She doesn't have to tell him anything. But if you want to have the conversation and say, hey, listen, I appreciate the raise. I love working here. I have no plans of going anywhere. I'm taking these second jobs because I want to pay off this debt faster. I want to get my place.
And tell him.
I want financial peace.
Tell him how long. I'm anticipating that we're going to be at baby step 3, be through it at this point, at which point I am not going to work 2 jobs.
Maybe you get him on the Ramsey plan.
Maybe.
That would be cool. But it's truly none of his business. And it's not in direct competition. You didn't sign some kind of non-compete.
That's right.
Here in the accounting world. I don't know what you're even doing
There's
on the
no
part-time
conflict
jobs.
of interest at all.
So his concern is very sweet, but we tell him, hey, thanks for your concern, but you don't pay my debt payments. Therefore, you don't get a vote.
Oh, it's a very nice way of saying pound sand.
Thank you, Ken. Or go fly a kite.
Go fly a kite is another famous
Either one would be unkind.
Yeah.
And old-timey.
By the way, it's so funny phrases like that. Go fly a kite. My dad would say that when I was growing up. He'd irritate him. Somebody like, tell those people to go fly a kite. But you never actually told them to go fly a kite. Because if you did, it would kind of be the reverse of what you were trying to do, which is go buzz off.
Well, in hindsight, those were very kind statements. These days, I don't get that in traffic, Ken. No one's telling me to go fly a kite.
Or pound sand.
No. They do way worse. They say way worse things.
That's right. But now here's the deal. This is actually an important issue. People feel pressure from their leaders sometimes that may not actually be there, or if it's there, you don't have to feel that pressure. Because we have a lot of people that are listening and watching this show that are getting after it with the second job, George, the third job. They're gazelle intense. So when we talk about gazelle intensity here on this program, many times that means multiple jobs. So it is a very key point that I want to make here that we're all about you working the 2 and 3 jobs, right? But you better do a good job at all 3 of them. And certainly if we say that the second job or the third job are just part-time gigs, that primary job is vitally important. So that means you got to bring it. You can't be sloughing off because you're tired, because it is not a good excuse to your leader at your primary job. Well, I'm working 2 or 3 other jobs to pay off debt. I'm sorry, I just fell asleep while I was driving the forklift.
Oh, yikes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So understand that they have no ability to tell you yay or nay, and they're not going to say much at all if you're crushing it. That's my point. They may have a concern, but if you give them no reason for concern, it's okay. Go keep working. I wouldn't have cut back on the hours, is my point to Jennifer.
Keep at it.
Take the raise and keep the hours going. That means we're getting out of debt even faster. We're getting to baby step 3 faster, which means we're quitting that job, the extra job. So keep your chin up, Jennifer. Keep on going. Hey, we're going to keep on going, George. You good?
I'm good.
All right, we're going to keep on going. Don't move. More of the Ramsey Show coming right up. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, co-host George Campbell. Our scripture of the day comes from James 4, verse 10. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. Our quote from Bill Bradley, U.S. Senator Bill Bradley, who was also, George, you have any idea what he was famous for before becoming a U.S. Senator?
Not a clue, Ken.
NBA basketball player.
That's in my head. I thought Bill Bradley is a basketball fan.
I bet you did. He is our quote of the day. Becoming number one is easier than remaining number one.
Ooh.
That's good. A lot easier to climb than it is to stay on top.
To maintain.
Very, very interesting. Good stuff. All right, the phone number is 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Let's go to Daniel now, who joins us in Phoenix, Arizona. Daniel, how can we help?
Hi, guys. My name's Daniel, and I'm working as an electrical apprentice in a company. And I had a question today about, where to go in my career right now. So I've been working at this company for almost about 2 years. And right now we're doing this project where they just have me driving a water truck for like 10 hours a day. And I was wondering, should I look somewhere else, because I'm also going to a trade school right now currently, and I'm learning a lot of stuff, but they just have me driving a water truck, and I don't feel like I'm learning anything. Okay. It's electrical, so I should really be, out in the field. And I talked to my boss about it a couple of times, and he just would tell me, that's where we need you right now. And, and it's been going on for about close to 5-6 months. And I'm kind of wondering, what's going on here? Should I just apply somewhere else? Because I know, especially here in the Phoenix area, there's tons of electrical jobs everywhere.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm wondering what you guys...
Two-part question. Had you done electrical work for them before? In your 2 years, have you done electrical work for them?
Yeah, I've ran pipe for them, all kinds of stuff.
Okay. And then what are you in what are you in trade school learning to do?
Electrical.
So when will you be done?
I'll be finished with school in about maybe 2 more years.
So 2 more years of trade school. And how much further up the ladder will that qualify you for? In other words, is there a pay grade that those 2 years of trade school is going to make you qualified for versus just staying with this current company or going to another company? What's the difference?
Well, if I go to another company, I feel like they'd have me doing more trade stuff instead of just,
Well, I appreciate that. But my question is, if you do go to another company and let's say you're not driving trucks, they got you doing electrical work, all day, every day, how much more qualified does the trade school make you, or do you even need the trade school if you're working as an electrician for somebody else?
Yeah, that's a good question. Everyone, always tells me you don't need to go to school, but the school actually really qualifies you to become an actual, what they call a journeyman electrician.
That's my question. So how much more money could you make as a journeyman versus what you're doing now just as a non-journeyman electrician?
So right now I'm probably close to 20 an hour, but as a actual journeyman, I should be making at least 30, 32.
Okay, great.
If I'm high.
All right. So obviously you need to continue trade school. I think that's the right move. There's no question about it. That gets you further up the ladder. I think you can start looking for jobs in other places. You're low man on the totem pole is what it sounds like to me, meaning maybe the least amount of experience. Is that true or is that false?
Yeah, but there's guys that are coming in less experienced than me too as well. So yeah, I guess I'm climbing it up.
Right, but are those guys that are coming in with less experience, are they doing electrical work while you're driving the water truck?
Yeah, there'll be new hires, and then it's kind of we need you here. But I see other guys brand new in the trade doing electrical too.
Well, why do you think they got you driving the water truck?
Well, it kind of started where they were do you have a driver's license? I was like, yeah. And then they're like, well, let's see if we can get you approved. And then I was like, that's fine. And then, I got approved, and I thought it was only going to be for maybe a month or two, but coming on 5 months now, and now they're like, oh, well, we still need you here.
So they have a bigger need because some of these other guys probably don't have valid driver's licenses, sounds like to me.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
All right. Now listen. Get your chin up, because this is now we got a little bit more information. I understand you want to be doing electrical work and you need to be looking for other electrician jobs in Phoenix. It's a hot market, yes. But don't get discouraged. The reason they've got you driving the truck is not because they devalue you, because I think I hear a little bit of that on you, and I understand that. The reason they have you driving the truck is because you're probably one of the few guys with a legitimate driver's license or non-suspended driver's license and all that other stuff. So don't get down, just get determined. You hear me? And let's start looking today.
So you're saying find a different job?
Yes,
or
sir.
Stay where I'm at?
No, I'm saying go look for another job where you can do electrical work.
Yes, sir.
Where they don't need a driver. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, perfect.
But I just don't want you. Yeah, I just don't want you to be discouraged, George.
Yeah, he's feeling stuck.
Yeah,
and we can get unstuck with all the positions available, and we know the trades are hot. This is not left-handed puppetry.
Yeah, so Daniel finished trade school.
And I'm seeing average salary for a journeyman electrician in the Phoenix area, 50, 60, upwards of 80. So he can make good money if he finishes his trade school.
Very good money. Yeah, very good money. I love it. All right, let's get to Kimberly in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Kimberly, how can we help?
Hi, Ken. Hi, George. I'm actually surprised I got through. But, hi, I'm on baby step 2. Well, my family and I are on baby step 2. My husband is currently, he's been with his job for like 13 years, and he's not exactly happy with it anymore, but he's looking at other jobs. But he's also scared to venture out into finding another job because we don't have that much in savings right now. So I'm just trying to figure out, should we be pouring our money into savings instead of debt, or vice versa?
What's he doing now?
He works in IT for a school.
Okay, and what's he wanting to do?
He still wants to work in IT. I guess he feels comfortable in a school environment, but...
So why can't he just apply for jobs, and then when he gets the job, he takes the job? There doesn't have to be this weird gap where he just quits for no reason and then hopes he finds a job in IT.
Well, yeah, I guess he could do that. The problem is like, okay, so he's on the autism spectrum, so it's hard for him to find a job to where they can meet all of his needs, I guess, where he's comfortable in the work that they give him. And also he gets overwhelmed very easily, and so not a lot of people are willing to hire him.
Okay, so Kimberly, even more what George said. We don't leave this current job that is giving him those benefits, or the benefit of the doubt, if you will, right? We don't leave this until we have something already signed and ready to go. There's no interruption in income. The last thing you want to do in his very unique situation is rely on savings, because even if you saved up 4, 5, 6 months, it is possible that you could burn through that.
Yeah.
Don't leave until he has another job to leave to.
So my fear is if he does leave a job and he takes another job that makes about the same amount, what if he doesn't do well in that job and there's not really much else he can do, So...
Are you working as well outside the home?
I'm not. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have she's about to turn 1 now, so.
Well, Kimberly, I know this is a hard thing that you're grappling with, being a stay-at-home mom with the husband who's got a unique work situation. But the best thing he can do is apply for other jobs and have the confidence that he's going to be able to do it. And if he makes it through the process and they see the value in him working there and he has the confidence, he's going to be all right.
Yeah, and I up to this point he's been successful. I hear a lot of years. I hear a lot of fear in your voice, but for 13 years he's held down a job at this place. And if that's where he needs to be, because it's the safest environment, but do the homework. Why has he succeeded for 13 years? What has to be true for him to succeed somewhere else? Go look for that, find that. Doesn't need to be so much fear around the unknown when you guys know what will work. George Campbell, thanks for hanging out with me. Great stuff. I want to thank our team in the control room. Thank you all so very much. I want to thank you, America. This is your show. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.